Welcome to today's panel discussion on globalization and localization of large language models for GenAI developers. I'm Fahd Mirza, an AI YouTuber. Some of might may know me. And I'm also Alibaba's cloud MVP, and I will be moderating today's panel discussion. Very honored to be here. Before I dive into this discussion, allow me to introduce a quick round of introduction with our elite panelists. So can each of you please introduce yourself and your organization? I'll start from my left.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm very honored to here with you today. I'm Daiya Yuyama, the technical director of Zebra.AI. We are providing a GPU cloud with NVIDIA 200, H200, and also offer SaaS solutions. For example, meeting transcription tools to help improve businesses, improve efficiency, and solve challenges. Yeah, today I'd like to about from my experience of Zebra.AI. Thank you.
All right, this is Lauren, and this is also me, but 5 years ago, okay? So, now so different. I was a cloud solution architect in a cloud vendor, but now I'm totally into a DeFi and other open source projects. That is why I do not taking care about my appearance, because my all the time is into it already. And Dify is a GenAI application development platform that allows you to do local, no matter modeling and agentic AI building as well. And currently now getting almost 60K stars in GitHub already. I hope all of you can just go to our GitHub and start it and making us the best way to be the GenAI platform. And of course, you can download it and use it for free forever because it's totally open source.
Thank you. So actually, I'm very happy to hear there was from infra side, model side. So I'm more from the application side. So my name is Jennifer. I'm the co-founder and CEO of the WIZ.AI. So WIZ.AI, what it do is actually, before actually we're building up the traditional NLP to do the customer engagement, customer service. Now actually we transfer adapt more models and also develop more like GenAI native applications for enterprise applications, but still focus on the customer engagement. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for the intro, really insightful. Now, look, all of these LLMs are increasingly becoming pervasive globally. It is imperative and essential to adapt these LLMs for local languages and for local cultural nuances. And I cannot really stress enough on this point. With that context in perspective, let's open up this discussion. So my first question from each one of you is that, do you have a market focus and what advantage do you have in your local market?
Okay. We are targeting mainly in Japan and other Asian countries. The Japanese market has very particular special demands. It demands perfection in result and cannot accept even slightest possibility of imperfection. Our strength is that we can provide services that much depend by focusing on specific market.
Okay, so it's time for DeFi. So the DeFi's vision is to empower every individuals and as well as the companies to get started with GenAI application building, of course. So our local market is now in United States, China, as well as Japan. And of course, we're expanding to the APAC area especially. And of course, we got a lot of advantage in localization because we have a great community, including GitHub and Discord. If you join our Discord, you'll see there's almost 20K members out there, and we create different channels for different languages as well. So for example, you're an English speaker, you go to English channel, you're a Chinese speaker, you're an Indonesian speaker, you go to relatives channel, and then you get all the support from your language or all your needs already. And of course, our team is strong as well, and we keep updating our platform to make sure you can use the latest model and the function and features from every cloud or other model providers.
Currently, our business covers 17 countries, and the majority in Southeast Asia. I think Indonesia is one of the biggest market we have in emerging countries. And also we cover like Singapore, Philippines, Thailand. And beside that, actually, we have quite aggressive growth in Latin America, and also some of the tractions from the Middle East.
Awesome. And on that point, I think Indonesia is one of the rapidly growing industry when it comes to the talent emerging from here in terms of AI. And I can tell you that the first diverse model which I covered on my channel was in Indonesian language. And it was not that good at that time, but it has evolved and improved a lot. So on that topic, what are the key challenges in practice you guys have faced when localizing a large language model for any specific language or any specific use case?
Okay, there are two cases. First is in case where the output should never be wrong. The RAG ensures explainability by providing output with reason and sources to the question. In the other case, when localizing a specific market, we sometimes were unable to use RAG due to lack of tokens related to the concept. For example, when creating LLM for machine maintenance, we were able to fine-tune with technical document and obtain satisfactory performance.
Warren?
Yeah, from my side, actually I'm from Hong Kong, so I speak three languages, Chinese, Mandarin, Cantonese, and English. It's already not easy to, localize a model like that because we make use of all of that. We mix of Cantonese, Mandarin, English, and we type it in English and Chinese as well. And the source we can find is very limited. Most likely it's from forum. Right? It is totally biased and other 4 language comments right here. So we need to clean that out. And it is no way before we build in a community because there is no proper way to make a proper data set right now. And that is why open source communities and other developer communities comes up and helping us to making a clean data, making a best data for the proper localized, no matter language or the market.
Basically, actually, so 2023, actually we're the first one to launch by fine-tune the Llama, and with our existing Bahasa corpus, launch it. And it's very interesting. We introduced a lot of the customers, but I realized it's quite interesting. It's most of our enterprise customers don't know how to use it. Back to 23, yeah. Now 2024 is giving a time, say, hey, everybody's more excited, say, hey, since at that time, so your model is quite big, and consider ours force model means latency. So most of the time before when we're using a traditional model, so you have natural conversation with our AI bots. But if you adapt at the 2023, I think latency is quite you heard something after you reply, there was tons of latency there. So you cannot really make it really a natural conversation. So now I think it's getting better of the all infra and also people trying to, we're using relatively small models to do something. I think this is one thing. And second one, I think is quite interesting. It's I think before we're talking about model, like later we're talking about like a rack. And now I think back to foundations, like I really want to have something that really have high accuracy, better like a human experience, probably you'll come to the data. So I think that's the very blockers for a lot of like, domain use cases and relative small models. But if we try to fine tune, then like, the fundamental data is quite like lacking in the certain use cases, actually cannot really driven in the accuracy level which you want to achieve. And in that case, actually, we also do by ourselves, like, building an annotation platform and chopping all the coppers and starting to redo it and also do the fine tune again. So that's actually two things. We've been actually very leader in the pioneer testing the foundation model in Bahasa. And until now, we launched some of the good use cases in the market. That's actually two problems we're facing. And now we still actually try to see how the things can be improved better and better.
Look, I'm loving this because we are hearing these stories from the trenches, and you really don't get to hear these days because there are very, very few companies who are sharing these insights. So really, thank you. Now, on this topic, just to progress the discussion further, what are the key considerations you would say are there to create a model for the global scale, and how it differs from the localized model?
Okay. Okay. In order to designing globalized LLMs for global market, compliance and privacy is very important. So it is essential to comply the data protection regulation such as GDPR or CCPA in each country and ensure the rigidity. So public clouds are very useful for this purpose.
Yeah, for me, for the global LLM1, I would say the reasoning capability will be one of the key, of course. Everyone is trying to make it better and better in this way, no matter like Quen or other like Llama or like OpenAI as well. And another thing, of course, I agree with Zhang, is that the privacy and the security as well, because a lot of the standards and compliance in the world, for example, GDPR and PII stuff, you need to take care of. But then, but not the easy is that the knowledge, of course, is one of the key, but not quite important at this point because you cannot keep the knowledge up to date, right? You leverage the RAG or probably the localized model to help you with. Just like, for example, I love watches and cars, private car. Probably for the global model, you only know the brand name is all right. But the localized model, probably you need to know about what is the model of that watch. Of course, you know this is Rolex. The localized model, probably you didn't know this is Submariner. Okay, this is Daytona, for example. So this is what I think the differentiation between like globalized model and the localized one.
I think we're getting more straightforward pain in this. It's like, basically because we do quite a lot of enterprise customer in local. And usually the question we face always like this is, hey, this is some maybe GPT's model, like, you can achieve this level. Why our local Bahasa model cannot be there? So this is quite interesting based on a lot of conversation we've been back and forth until now. So that's I think with the great opportunities, like, if we actually, any players actually bring the vertical models relatively small, more accurate, definitely you have tons of opportunities in emerging countries. So this is number one. I think number two is always regarding, because we haven't touched upon, basically we're just talking about performance right now, but also we actually touch upon a lot of we call it economic value for certain use cases to adapt certain model. That's actually the key in a lot of markets. So basically means one use cases, it can shine very good in the US or Japan because it's developed countries and people willing to pay a lot to do that use cases. But if you come back to Indonesia and emerging countries, probably people are willing to pay less. Then if you're starting to select your models, what time things you are gonna offer, because your computing power is quite expensive. And how you're gonna actually shine to make sure like, your ROI of these use cases actually can match. It can really adapt in the emerging countries. So that's actually another pain point. I think as adapter, pushing the AI application, especially GenAI application in the market, we always actually try to discuss. But I think it's also quite interesting. We're getting more partners like Alibaba, and everybody's actually jumping the ropes. So we see probably the community power getting cheaper, and the players are more focusing. There's opportunity in the market. So I think a lot of things can be solved gradually. So a good market, good opportunities, and very benefit the local players. Yeah.
Makes sense. So I believe that if you're aiming to become a Gen AI developer, you have to balance this localization with globalization to create more inclusive and pertinent applications. On that topic, as an expert, how do you, or what frameworks or tools do you recommend for Gen AI developers or aspiring Gen AI developers to build local models or Gen AI applications on top of those local models? Daiya?
Okay, I want to talk about AIACC. Yeah, AIACC is tool for enhancing speed of AI tasks. It can be installed and used on instances on Alibaba Cloud. And it optimizes the system and it make inference and training tasks faster. It supports PyTorch, and the greatest thing is we can use existing training method without modification.
Yeah, Daiya is more low level, technical level, but I want to say more things about like higher level, like platform and the tools that you can use for like data training and testing. There are two tools I want to share. One is mentioned it a lot already in these conferences. Hugging Face. Hugging Face is a really great platform you can use to search any model which is good performing like Qwen, right? And of course, it provides a data set and other SDK and API, helping you to like building up your own customized model. And after you got your own customized model, and then you want to test it out, right? And this is the time you need to use Dify. Set it up, and then you can choose like 2 to 4 model and compress what's the response and performance.
So I think we have the try for the Hugging Face. I think a lot of my I don't have the technology background, but I have 2 chats with my CTOs and rest of teams. So basically, I think it's a TensorFlow. Also, we do that Hugging Face, Transformer. That everybody's actually trying that. So also, I think Longchamp's mentioned a lot in our internal, but I think it's still exploring. So everybody's trying to exploring. And what is the I cannot say what's the recommendation, but we were in the different teams. I think everybody's still in the good journey to try. Yeah.
Makes sense. Very quickly in one line, what emerging trend in AI you guys are following these days? One line. Daiya.
One line.
What emerging trend in AI you are following these days?
Emerging trend.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks to open source models such as Qwen, we can now fine tune and develop specialized model. Currently, a number of fine-tuned models with new datasets are already available in the world. In Japan, there are Nekomata using Qwen. So specialized models are being developed, and in the future, mechanisms will emerge that will allow the creation of function-specific AI that can be built more easily. Furthermore, LLMs specialized for finance, medical, military, governments may create on-premise demand because it handles sensitive data information. So we would like to support such demands with GPU cloud.
Yeah, since we are kind of running out of time, I just want to say one buzzword, keyword is agentic AI. Building a multi-agent stuff, I will see this will be the trend just take an example of I'm taking the transportation to this hotel. I'm using Grab, right? But I'm in Hong Kong. I'm using Uber. I'm in China. I'm using Didi. And the point is, if you are using multi-agent purpose and it is integrated to your phone or other devices that you can just say, I want to take a car to somewhere. The agent probably will help you out to choose any agent that he can to use any tool that is the best fit for you. For example, I don't know Grab, but the agent knows, then it can help you to sort out and then take the Grab for you.
Okay, very interestingly, we have the product sharing for every month. So recently I have 2024s with my teams, and there was very interesting things I love to share. So before, actually, what all of us doing is actually more regarding the workflow automation. So that's why they have this bot and that bot. Then I think this year, everybody's trying to watch is really how the AI agent really can do the execution. So basically, it's just like a tool, jump to the people, like AI agent finish everything. So we're looking forward, like whether we can do this, and also how smart level or like, industry really can drive this forward. So that's actually something I love to share at the end.
Well, thank you very much. It was very insightful. I am sure that you guys enjoyed as much as I did. Thanks again for your insights and thanks for your attendance. Thanks.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. And we ask you to please remain on stage for our group photo session. Kami persilakan kepada teman-teman fotografer untuk mengabadikan momen ini. We'd like to thank Fahd for excellently moderating and illuminating this exciting session on the globalization and localization of large language models for GenAI developers, and for all of our speakers for sharing their expertise and insights with all of us. And thank you very much, everyone. You may return to your seats. Thank you.